Hey heathens, another deconversion story here. This one coming from Hentakkun, I guess is how you say it. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad. Hentakkun. Says, I grew up in a home where my parents were different religions. My father, a Presbyterian, my mother, a Roman Catholic. However, I'm the youngest of my family, and I was baptized Ukrainian Orthodox Catholic. We went to church and Sunday school every Sunday, my mother being the Sunday school teacher. When I was younger, I always viewed church as pretty lame. That was what I thought it was. As playtime. Freudian slip there. To meet with friends and family and have a good time. After each sermon, the churchgoers would meet in the church hall and spend some time chatting over coffee and cakes, while us kids would play outside in the large yard of the church in a small patch of woods. One of the other kids and I became close friends. He played guitar and introduced me to music genres that I still like to this day. Before that, no music appealed to me. We would hang out and go over each other's houses once in a while. He had taught me to play a few songs on the guitar. About the time we were in middle school, I heard the most awful news. That friend I had been close to had committed suicide. He threw himself in front of a freight train, listening to that music he introduced me to on his Walkman. This had happened the day of my birthday to make matters even worse. I tried to figure out why he would commit suicide. Although I never did find out exactly why, his funeral was one to remember. The funeral home in which it was held was too small to accommodate the mourners. People were made to stand outside, his stepfather all the time cursing at the mourners, saying all types of vulgarities. This man surely was the reason. After that, I started to question my religion, to question my God. After many years, I came to the conclusion that there is no God, never was, never has, never will there be one. One of the saddest part about being the friend of someone who dies so young is you don't see the importance of saving material items to remember them by. Today, after all the years I've known him, all that remains are my memories of the small funeral card with his name and date of birth and date of death on it, with a small religious prayer. Not a single picture or memento. I don't even know where he was buried. Comes back to expound on a couple of things. After I said, well, hey, you kind of left out that middle section. He says, well, I suppose you could say I had a bit of a breakdown. I fell into deep depression. Didn't talk to anyone for a while. I cried myself to sleep at night. Constantly, I kept rolling the question, why, God, around in my head, trying to find out why God would put his people through such torment. I began to compare God to Satan, and I could not find much in the way of difference. After a while, I decided that either God didn't exist or he was Satan playing an elaborate hoax on humanity. However, I eliminated God being Satan by the fact that if Satan were in such a position to be able to control the masses of religious people, he certainly would be able to do much worse. So eventually I began to see things as they really were, without the rose-colored glasses called religion. Mind you, this all happened through approximately 10 years. It was no overnight thing, as it may sound. All right. Yes, that does clear things up very well. It's actually rare that a traumatic event does cause someone's deconversion, although most religious people think that is what all of us have happen. But I don't deny that a profound event like the death of a child, death of a close friend, could make you start thinking things. So I understand why they think that way. This particular case, though, is very interesting because all of the reasons, well, I'm making some assumptions here based on the message I got, but the reasons that the friend committed suicide becomes fairly clear when you find out that the stepfather was a bit of an ass. But the idea that if a God knows everything but does nothing to stop the horrible things in the world, how can you call him benevolent? If he doesn't know things and is benevolent, then he's not all-knowing. And if he's powerless to stop the things that happen, then he's not all powerful. So by the time it's all said and done, why call him God? Cool story. I hate that you went through such a horrible thing. I'm glad it brought you to rationality. And I hope you guys enjoyed the story.